Good morning, and welcome to another Moment of Hope with Upward Transitions. I'm your host, Conna Dewar. I am the Development and Public Relations Manager for Upward Transitions. And each week, Tuesdays at 9:30 in the morning Central Time, I'll come and talk to you. Sometimes I'll have a guest. Sometimes I'll have news about Upward Transitions. But I promise to always bring you one moment of hope to help get you through your week. I know because we watch the news and because we live in a country where things are really politically divided, it looks like there isn't much hope, but there is. There's a lot of hope out there, and hopefully I can remind you of a little bit of it each week. Here at Upward Transitions, we have a lot of hope because we're part of the vast network of nonprofits in Oklahoma City who get to bring hope to people every day who are struggling. And when you get to see it from that side, you go to bed at night feeling really hopeful, also feeling like your job is really, really urgent. And I hope that I can also convey that to you guys today, that we really couldn't do what we do without your support. We must help people who are in crisis. It could happen to any one of us at any time. And we live in a place where people are known for going out of their way to help each other and sticking by even their worst enemy when somebody's in trouble. We call it the Oklahoma Standard, and it's really true here. You see it when you work in nonprofit. You see it when you go through a tough time and you're surrounded by people you didn't even know were willing to help you. It really is important that we all pull together and we keep this Oklahoma Standard the way that it is. It's a wonderful place to live, a wonderful place to work, and the best place to be if you're in trouble. In case you're not familiar with us and this is your first time watching, Upward Transitions is a nonprofit here in Oklahoma City that serves Oklahoma City and the surrounding Oklahoma County areas. We help people who are suffering from homelessness, and we help people who are at risk of becoming homeless. We help those who are already suffering from homelessness by helping them to get their birth certificates and state IDs and other identifying documents that give them access to housing and employment and medical help and benefits, so many things that you just can't get without an ID of some kind. If you're not aware, about 70% of the people that you see on the street or in shelters who are struggling with homelessness have no form of ID and no way to get one. Of course, you cannot get a birth certificate without an ID, and you cannot get an ID without a birth certificate, and so on and so on. So those folks can go to their shelter and go to their case worker, case manager, their parole officer, their doctor, anyone who can verify that they are suffering from homelessness, and that person can refer them to us. And Upward Transitions will help them get those documents, those really important identifying pieces of paper that can change their whole lives. I want to start this morning with that moment of hope because I need it. And I feel like we all need it this week for a lot of reasons. We have a client named, well, I'm going to call her Susan, who was referred to Upward Transitions through a shelter where she was staying. And she wanted to get an ID, and she wanted to get her birth certificate, and she wanted to try to get on her feet, and she wanted to get in a home. So she came to Upward Transitions, and we got her ID, and she asked for help getting started looking for a job. And so her case manager here started helping her with her job search. And while that was going on, Upward Transitions provided her with some vouchers for transportation so that she could get to job interviews. And we found out quickly that she also had some doctor's appointments that she was unable to get to. So she got vouchers for those as well, so she could get to her medical appointments and she could get to her job interviews. And pretty quickly, she got herself together and she got a job helping at a medical facility. And she needed to buy scrubs to work there. So we sent her to one of our partners who helped her to get her needed work clothes. And she applied for Section 8 housing and got it. And just a few months later, we heard back from her. She contacted her case manager and said that she is now in training to be a nurse's aide and really, really doing well, and really grateful to everyone who helped her, from Upward Transitions to the shelter where she had stayed to the group that helped her to get clothes for her job and other things that she needed. And she is such a wonderful story to me because this is a person who had a really, really rough time. And without the organizations here in Oklahoma City that worked together to help her, her outcome would have been very, very different. She had no family to turn to. She had health problems that had caused her to lose her job and lose her home. And she had ended up fortunately, in a homeless shelter, which is much better than having absolutely nowhere to go or sleeping on the street or in a park. But she really needed those services, and they were there for her, and they will always be there for her and people like her as long as the nonprofits here in Oklahoma City have your support. It's really, really important that everyone come together and support organizations like ours and other United Way partnered organizations here in Oklahoma City. United Way of Central Oklahoma brings us all together and connects us all in a way that no other organization in the world connects nonprofit agencies. We all work together. We all go to rallies together. We all get to know each other. We're all in committees together. Most of us work on some committee for the Key to Home initiative here in Oklahoma City that you've heard about in the news, that I will cover in more detail in another live stream soon. But if we don't know what to do for you, or if we can't help you, more likely, we know who can. And we just pick up the phone or we fill out an application and we get you to the help that you need. And that is unique in this part of the world. It's unique in all the world. And if you are struggling, or if you're not, but maybe one day, or if you know someone who's struggling, you're very fortunate to live where you live, where there are so many good groups here who work together, only because they are supported by people who live here with their donations and with their time and with their word of mouth. A lot of people don't realize, more than anything, you can help us just by spreading the word. Follow us on social media, like posts about our work, share them with your friends. If you get our newsletter, share that, email that to people, forward that on. The more people know about us, the more supporters we have, the more people we can help. Each week, Upward Transitions starts our help on Monday morning at 7 a.m. Before we even open our doors. Our online portal opens up to people who might need help with their utilities or their rent to avoid eviction. If somebody has a household with minors in the house, or seniors, or if they themselves are a senior, and they are facing eviction because they can't pay their rent or their utilities, and they have no family to turn to, no savings left, they've had a medical emergency, they've lost a job, they've lost a car and can't get to their job, they've had a family member pass away who was the major breadwinner in the family. There are so many things that happen that can put someone in this situation. And if they don't have a support network who's able to step in and give them or loan them money or give them a place to live or a place to stay, they're at risk of literally becoming homeless on the street after that eviction happens. And that eviction stays on their record their whole life, doesn't ever go away. So it's a real problem. So they can reach out when they're at risk of that to Upward Transitions starting at 7 o'clock in the morning and they come online to our online portal, which I'm going to put up and show you guys real quickly. They can put their application in at the website at the bottom of my screen. And for those of you following us on podcast, it's Upward Transitions. That's all one word. upwardtransitions.org/OAS-application. Starting right at 7 a.m. Monday mornings. Get that application in, and we go to work immediately, halting that eviction, working with the landlord. Our case managers are incredible. They are very educated, very experienced, very good at what they do, very compassionate, but also very good stewards of the money that has been donated to us. They overturn rocks. They look for all the information. They verify everything that they're told is going on with this person and or family. And then once that's verified, once they get in touch with that landlord, stop that eviction, get those people the funding that they need, it changes everything. Because once you've stopped that eviction, that's just step one. Our case managers also work with folks on balancing their budget, looking at what they can cut out. What are the expenses that they don't need to be wasting money on? Looking into their background, could they get a better job? Do they need just a little bit of training to get into a higher income bracket? Do they know how to get benefits that could help them when they're in trouble? All of these things work together to prevent a person or a family from ever going through this again, because Upward Transitions only helps one time. But we do follow up, and we know that 6 months, 3 months, 1 year out, people are still hopeful. They're still secure. They stay stable. And they say they feel empowered. We do surveys of them at, as I said, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. And an overwhelming 76% of people use that word, hope, in their responses. And I think that's really important. I think that's a really good endorsement of the work that we do and the need for that work here in Oklahoma City, in Oklahoma County, frankly, all over the United States. Hopefully there are more agencies doing something similar. There aren't a lot. Homeless prevention is kind of a new approach to poverty crisis. And I believe Oklahoma City is kind of leading the way in how we treat people who are experiencing homelessness. Between us and the Key to Home Initiative, I think things are really going to change. I think we'll really be a model for other cities in the future. Another way that Upward Transitions helps is, as we said, getting those IDs and getting those birth certificates. We also still help stranded travelers, people who are victimized by domestic violence and human trafficking. We also help those folks get to a place of safety and security. And our case managers verify that where they're going, there's someone waiting there for them, someone who is safe, someone who is willing to take them in and help them get on their feet and protect them and make sure that they're not in another bad environment. And then we can get them there. A lot of our former clients become volunteers and partners with us in helping. The people who need help, once they get the help, often become the helpers. So keep that in mind if you're iffy about whether or not you'd like to donate to a nonprofit to help people who are suffering from poverty or other crises. Just remember that the people who are going to be helped by your time, your dollars, or your word of mouth might be there to help you when you're in need. So let that motivate you. Another thing that I think is a good motivator is that the fact that when we help a family and prevent them from experiencing homelessness or prevent them from being evicted, it costs anywhere from $1,500 to $2,500 one time. If that family gets evicted it can cost upwards of $10,000 to get them back on their feet. If they stay out of home, out of house, unhoused is, I think, the best term for that, it costs the city of Oklahoma City $20,000 per person per year to take care of them, between ERs and police, firemen, cleaning up the streets after encampments, the money that goes into shelters. It's an exorbitant cost, and it can be prevented with just a small amount of money, preventing homelessness from starting. I shared last week a couple of fun videos that I want to share again this week, because I think that a lot of people missed this, and I think that they're fun. So I'm going to have fun and show them to you before I give you our year-end numbers and tell you a little bit of an announcement that we've got coming up. The first one I want to show you is pictures from the open house that we attended at Pivot. They are doing this wonderful project. They build tiny houses for people who are aging out of the foster care system. The number one growing population group entering into homelessness is young adults. And it's really distressing. And the majority of them are children, minors who age out of foster care, often still in public school, juniors or seniors in high school, and have nowhere to go. And so Pivot has built this community of tiny homes that they offer to these folks to live in. And this community is beautiful, and these homes are wonderful. And it's right there next to a big Pivot facility where there are people there to help them and people there to guide them into getting jobs and getting the things that they need. But we had the opportunity to go tour these tiny homes, and they're wonderful. The decorations and furnishings were donated by different groups. But I just want to show you a little bit of our tour and what these beautiful places look like. This is a real quick little video of it.
Take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country road. All my memories gather round her, modest lady, stranger to blue water, dark and dusty, painted on the sky, misty taste of moonshine, teardrop in my eye. Country road, oh, take me home.
I just think that what they're doing is wonderful, and I want to encourage you to support groups like Pivot, groups like Upward Transitions, and look into other partners of United Way. Right now, we're getting into United Way's campaign season. So if your employer supports that for your contributions at work through your paycheck, you will probably be having a United Way rally, which means several of us from different United Way partners will come and either speak to you or set up tables where you can learn more about us. If your employer is not doing something like that, ask them to. It costs them nothing. Just a little bit of time during your lunch hour or at the end of the day to give us some space to come sit up to meet with you. And then they can have you set up a way to contribute some of your before tax pay each month or once a year towards United Way, and they will distribute that to their partners. And if you don't know, that's what United Way does. United Way partners with a lot of nonprofits that they put through a rigorous investigation to make sure that what we do is helpful, that we really do what we say we do, and that the way we use our funds is above board and honest. And it's a tough process. So anyone partnering with United Way is a trustworthy and stable and helpful group to donate your time, money, and word of mouth to. So I really encourage you to attend those rallies or to encourage your boss or human resources department to set one up. There's still plenty of time to do it. The rallies are already starting, but the campaign runs between basically Labor Day through Thanksgiving. So make sure that you ask for a United Way rally and make sure you tell them you'd like Upward Transitions to come so we can talk to you about what we do a little more and give you some information about things that we have coming up this next year. Because this year, we're at the end of our fiscal year, which ends in June. So we're in fiscal year 2025, but officially the year 2025 is our 100-year anniversary. This is Upward Transitions Centennial. We have been serving the community of Oklahoma City for 100 years. And there's so much to tell you about our history and about our future. We have exciting announcements. We have an event every single month of 2025. And we have an opportunity for you to partner with us and for you to have a legacy with us into the future. So you want to follow us online, you want to come on Tuesdays and hear my announcements at 9:30 in the morning, and you want to invite us into your United Way rally, and you invite United Way into your workplace to help you to know how to give to them and how to give your time. It doesn't have to be your money, and how to give your word of mouth. It's really important. One of the events that you will be seeing in 2025 is our Celebrity Wait Night, where we encourage you to come out and eat pizza for charity. And your waiters will be celebrities. We usually have the former athletic stars from OU and OSU as your servers, and they are wonderful. So it's exciting to get to meet some of these great guys, and they have a good time together. They banter back and forth about whose team was better, and they get to know you. They talk to you. They joke with you. They stop and spend time at every table. No matter which one of them you get, you'll get to meet all of them. It is a wonderful time. It is a blast. It is one of my favorite events that we do. We'll be doing it again in 2025. So I just wanted to show you quickly some highlights from this year's. It was just last month in July, and we had a wonderful time. We had a couple of surprise celebrity waiters that showed up, which, it's pretty popular with these guys. They all want to be part of it. So I'll quit babbling about it and I'll show it to you because we had a great time, and I want to encourage you to come next year.
It's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. I feel it. Ooh, that tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. I feel it.
like I said, we had a wonderful time. The reference you saw to raffle winners, we had one lucky winner win $250 worth of fine chocolates from Bedra Chocolates. So it was quite an investment. A really cheap raffle ticket got you $250 worth of chocolate. I hope they didn't make themselves sick on it like I would have done. They probably were wiser and gave some of it to friends and family, but I probably would have had it all in one sitting. I love chocolate, but I love pizza too. And I just think this is a wonderful event for more reasons than just pizza and chocolate. It's a lot of fun, and we raise money that goes directly to our client programs. So I hope that you will join us for that next year. And I hope that you will join us for a lot of the other events that we're going to have, hopefully all of them. I want to just show you our year-end numbers. Since we are at the end of fiscal year 2024 and going into 2025, I'm going to put up a little visual that shows you how we did last year and tell you about it real quickly. Now, last year, we assisted over 4,000 people in 2,800 households. And we did that with a staff of 11 people. So I'm pretty proud of those numbers. I think we should be pretty proud of those numbers. We could help even more with more support and more word of mouth. We'd have more funding and we could help even more people than we do. So please support us, and please share our posts and our emails and our videos and time if you can, and donate your money, because we would love to help even more. We had 1,871 clients who we prevented from staying on the street or in a shelter. They got their birth certificates, they got their state IDs, and they got their identity back. So they were able to look for employment and look for housing and get benefits and have a chance to get back on that path out of homelessness. 60 of our clients got to a place of safety and support away from a really bad situation that threatened not only their lifestyle, but their lives. Over 1,000 children were benefited from our services. And we always really look at that because we look at those ACE scores that are so dramatically affected by homelessness in children, which is another subject that I really want to get more into. An ACE score, if you don't know, is an adverse childhood experience, and they affect children's future, their health, their mental health. All it takes is one experience, a week of homelessness, to dramatically affect their entire future. So we keep track of how many children we help. As I said, I think I had it wrong. It's not 76%, 78% of our clients said that they felt more hopeful after receiving our services. And that is our goal. We had a lot of people maintain their stable housing when they received rent or utility assistance, 854 people in 300 households, and 70% maintained stable housing with utilities connected for up to a year. That's how far we survey out, and that's how well they were doing. Now, the important thing I want to share with you guys is how your donation impacts what we're doing here. Now, 89 cents of every dollar donated went directly to our client programs. We are really good stewards of the money that you donate to us. We have very detailed and careful PQI. We have a board of directors that looks closely every month at our finances, how we're using the money donated, how we're supposed to use it. Our books are wide open, and we're very careful that the money people entrust to us goes to benefit the people we say we're helping. If you give as much as $2,500, you can prevent 2 families from being evicted. If you give $1,000, you can restore utilities for 3 families. $500 can pay public housing deposits for 6 families. Just $250 can help a victim of domestic violence or human trafficking to get out of the situation that they're in and get to someone who can support them, keep them safe. $100 can help 4 people get their IDs and get access to housing and employment and medical help and benefits. And just $50 can provide work clothes for someone to start a new job. $20 to $25 can help them get back and forth to a job interview or to a job for a week. So these investments are really, really helpful. Whatever someone can give is a really big deal. If you know, anything from $1 to $100 to $1,000 really does help and really does make a difference to people. So anything that you can do is worth it and would be greatly appreciated at any amount. And if you have any time that you could give, let us know. We could use you as a volunteer, and volunteering with us can be a lot of fun because you can come to the event as well, and you really want to come to the event. Our events are wonderful and a lot of fun, and you get to have all this fun, and while you're having it, you know that you're helping other people, and that's the best part for me. I want to make the announcement again, in case you did not tune in last week, that as we enter our centennial, Upward Transitions is launching an endowment fund campaign. If you don't understand or know what an endowment is a fund. It's a trust or a large fund that is handled by a bank or a banking institution that has a large amount of money in it that you only use the earned interest off of, that can help increase stability and grow a company and make sure that no crisis can hit that will take you under. One of the things that really inspired us to want to do this was the COVID crisis. A lot of people were out of work, a lot of companies went under, and a lot of nonprofits disappeared as a result of all of the economic downturn. And Upward Transitions wants to be here and helping the community for another 100 years. And having this endowment securing us, putting us in place to be that stability, that security when these crises hit, would be a guarantee of that. It would also help us possibly expand our services either to a larger area or to a larger group of people, which is so needed and would be so helpful. So again, I hope that you will be following us every week, either here at the live stream or listening on podcast. And I hope that you will follow us on social media. And I hope that you will sign up for our newsletter and come see us and attend the events that we have planned. I'll have much more information about that next week. I want to talk more about what we've got coming up for the rest of this year before we get into 2025. But if you'll just follow us on social media and online at our live stream, you'll make sure you won't miss any of those announcements. So I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us again. And I hope that everyone has a wonderful, safe, and hopeful week. We're all in this together. So let's stick together. Thank you again.